Hello, welcome to Polyphonic Press. My name is Jeremy Boyd, and today I'm going to be reviewing the new album by Serena Ryder entitled Harmony. Here we go. Serena Ryder is a Canadian singer-songwriter coming from Toronto, Ontario. She has a 5-octave range, which is really impressive, but more than that, she's a songwriter more than a singer, and she really writes songs that come straight from the heart and are really honest, and this is her third full-length album and is a follow-up to 2008's Is It Okay? This album starts off with a song called What I Wouldn't Do, and it starts off with the guitar and the drums with this really urgent beat, and they're locked in really tight with each other. It's a melancholy song, but it's also full of hope, and I really like this one because it has a very diverse range of emotions going on with it. It just sort of shows you about how life is, and it's not always black and white. There's a lot of gray area, and it's real and honest, and it's coming from an honest place. The song Fall has one of the strongest vocal performances I've heard in a long time, especially in the chorus. She's just really belting it out. It really gives you chills, and not only is it a great vocal performance, but it's very believable as well. You can be the greatest singer in the world and hit all the notes in all the right places, but if I don't believe what you're singing about, I have a hard time listening to it. This performance in particular hits the nail right on the head. It's both technically very good and hits the notes perfectly, but it's also full of emotion. It's something that's hard to pull off unless you're a really great singer and you're a really great songwriter as well, and you can sort of walk the line and have the best of both worlds. The song Baby Come Back is an interesting song to me. It's got a kick drum and hand claps laying down the rhythm and a lot of interesting little electronic noises that sort of emphasize the song quite a bit. It's mixed in with a very distant piano, and it really makes the vocals come up front and center. It's almost as if the music is secondary to the vocals and it's just there sort of to emphasize the performance. The way that this song was recorded vocally really reminds me of the Beach Boys, in particular Pet Sounds. The way that Brian Wilson would write harmonies would be to overdub them and to sort of have them come in this sort of circular kind of thing. And towards the end of the song, it's very prevalent on this one, and it just kind of harkens back to that sort of era and sort of pays tribute to the Beach Boys a little bit. I'm not sure if it was conscious, but that's kind of what it reminds me of anyway. The song Heavy Love is much more of a straight-ahead sort of ballad kind of song, although it does build up into sort of this mid-tempo pop song. The beat and the aesthetic of this song really reminds me of mid to late 90s adult contemporary music, which really is not a bad thing at all. Yes, it's got an electronic beat, or at the very least heavily processed drums, but at the heart of it is a very organic and earthy feel. It's sort of like counterpoint, and there's a clear contrast in this song which potentially could hurt it, but I think it really works in this case. The first single from this album was a song called Stompa, and it has much more of a rock and roll feel with the heavy electric guitars, and the chorus is really catchy, and it's just a really fun song. The guitar work is really good on this song as well. There's a point about 2 minutes into the song, there's a little lick right before the bridge that really, I wish there was more of this little lick in the song. It kind of is a hook. It could potentially be like a really good guitar solo, but unfortunately it's pretty short. So it made me kind of want to hear the song again, just for that little 3-second piece. I can understand why this song was chosen as the single, because it really is one of the best songs on the album. It's not too often that you have the big hit of the album, or at least the single, be the best song on the album, at least for me. So it was a really treat when the single is also one of the best performances on the album, and it's really sort of captures you and holds you in and really makes you want to hear more of the album. The album ends with a minute-long song called Nobody But You. It's strictly an a cappella performance. It has an old sort of folky vibe to it, and I really like that it ends the album because it sort of grounds the album a little bit, whereas the rest of the songs have this heavily processed electronic stuff going on with it, and the end is sort of brings you back down to earth. The rest of these songs on the album take you to some really amazing places in terms of song structure and just the different sounds that are going on, but I think this song works as the closer because it sort of brings it back down to the ground a little bit. It's sort of like going on a hot air balloon ride. You know, you enjoy the journey as it's going through, but ultimately when you get back on the ground, you're sort of glad to be there. As I mentioned before, the production is pretty heavy on this one. It's got a lot of effects and things going on, but at the heart of it is a really great vocal performance, and that's sort of really important. This is a pretty strong album, and I like that she's sort of pushing the envelope a little bit and stepping outside of her comfort zone and not being locked into that chick with a guitar kind of mold. There's really not much bad I can say about this album. I really love it, so I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. So anyway, that's what I thought about the album. Let me know what you guys think in the comments or with a video response. And if you'd like to suggest an album for me to review, please leave that in the comments as well, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy.